Hello everyone, welcome back to my underwear drawer and all the fun that you can have with men's underwear. So this is take two. The first video I made, my battery totally died on me. Love when that happens. So I was probably halfway through it and now I get to redo the whole thing. So I'm very excited about that. So after waiting to charge my phone and get back at it, here we are. First thing I want to mention is my underwear drawer is now organized and redone. Last time was I think in August, and everything was just chaotic and everywhere because I just took a picture of all of the different pairs on my bed and just kind of showed everything off. And so when I put everything back in, it was just crazy. So now I have everything organized. It's a little bit different, and some of the differences is having the stacks front to back rather than stacked up. There are still some I do have stacked up. The only ones I have front to back are the ones that I have more of, and in this scenario it's pretty much briefs and boxer briefs. The rest, like trunks, I only have 2 piles of trunks, and then I have just 2 or 3 piles of jock briefs back here. I have all my jocks back there. I have my sport briefs up front here, some more sport briefs, as well as some cheekies there. And then down below in drawer number 2 is still as my thongs. And I have on my far left is also jock thongs. And then from there, it kind of goes, it was going from like thickest or widest material of thongs to the thinnest. But what I've done recently, literally just a few days ago, is I have now a wall of thongs. So I found some tie hooks and repurposed them to hold all of my strapped thongs. So these are ones that don't really have fabric underneath it and or just a string. And I now have those hanging. I love this idea. I think it's great. I am able to kind of see them all. And typically with the strappier ones, they tend to get a little bit more tangled and not as organized, and it's really kind of tough to fold them, and it's like, what do you do with these things? And since I typically only wear a few every week, maybe 1 or 2 every week, it's not crazy to have to put up like 20 thongs, after doing laundry. For me, it's only like 2 or 3 at the most. So, to just hook 2 or 3 of them up really quick is not a big deal for me. But I really love having this. I think it looks really neat to kind of walk past it. Granted, I have a door right there, so when anyone goes into my closet, it's typically covered up unless they were to close the door behind them. So get a little bit of that privacy, but granted, my underwear drawer has glass on it, so people will get a little sneak peek if they are in my room and happen to glance into my closet. So it's kind of a fun little sneak peek into some of the fun flirty styles I have. So there's that. All right, so now to the fun of it all, forgive me for the little transition there. I have a lot of different pairs to go over with you. I realized the last video I did in August was more just underwear questions, so I didn't have an underwear review during that time. Therefore, it's been a long time since I've given you guys an update from the last video I posted of actual underwear reviews. So I'm going to try to go somewhat quick, and hang in there with me. All right. So I talked to a friend locally, one of the first people I've ever told about my underwear in person. He's a guy who I'm close with him, and I felt comfortable enough to share that I have a bit of an underwear collection, and I noticed that he just wears like Hanes, like boxer briefs and stuff like that, and it's um, there's just so much more out there as far as quality goes, as far as comfort goes, as far as fabrics go, that um, I started out with CIN2 because they had a really good clearance deal, and I said, hey, you should give this brand a try, see what you think. Um, and it's not like I was telling them to drop $30 on one pair or something like that. It was like $7, $8 a pair, maybe 12 at the max. So I felt like that was a good start. Anyways, I ended up buying a few myself. This one is a jock, a cotton jock. What I love about it is the color and the wide waistband. For me, this kind of screams masculinity, and I love the bold, sexy, wide waistband. I also think it's very comfortable. It just kind of hugs your body really well. So I ended up going with that and loved it. This guy here is from the collection Zen. It is a mid-rise brief. This is my first mid-rise brief, and I wanted to try this style just because I haven't tried it, and I want to try this collection because it's a little bit different feel for the fabric. It just has a little bit of like a texture to it. It's a nice smooth fabric. Has a good 50% or so, 59% of cotton, as long as well as a few other fabrics. So it just has a little different blend to it. It's a nice soft fabric. For me, it's nothing like incredibly special or crazy, but it's a good one. The mid-rise, personally, I don't think it's the most flattering style on me, but it was just fun to change it up to something different. It's not my go-to. I don't think I'm going to get any more of them, but I'm glad I've tried it, and because you never know until you try it, kind of thing. Next, I have a blue and like a burgundy kind of reddish color. I call it a hip brief, and so it just has a little bit of fabric there. These are both just cotton as well. Basic kind of style, nothing crazy, but it was from their hand-me-down collection, and I wanted to try this collection because I haven't tried it yet. And overall, I like them. I think they're great. No complaints. All right, before I continue here, I'm going to actually transition up here. This is the last of the CIN2s that I got from that haul. This is one of their thongs. This is, I think, my first thong with them, and so I definitely want to give them a try. This is from their core collection. One thing I noticed is that the pouch is really wide. I didn't have a problem with that. I just thought it was wider than what I typically see. You go with something like that compared to something like that. It's just quite wide. Comfort-wise, I think it's fine. Look-wise, it just seems a little baggier, I don't know, if you will. But no complaints there. Overall, I thought it was a comfortable pair, so I was good with that one as well. All right, going back to here, this is Todd Sanfield. This is one of his modal wide waistband thongs. This is a newer collection, I should say, within the last year or so, and I want to give it a shot. Again, knowing me, I just like the wide waistband type of thing. So once I saw that, and he had a really good deal one day, that I just decided to go for one. This is the back. It is more just a string in the back with the triangle. Comfortable pair, like it very much. Definitely a good one to go for. Speaking of Todd Sanfield, I'm going to go back up here. I did get, on a different occasion, I did a buy one get one free. I couldn't pass it up. Just thought 50% off, that's more than the 35% off you typically see from Black Friday. So more or less 50% off of each, or buy one get one free. So ended up going with these two. What I love about them, I believe these are the micro model, if I remember correctly. For me, I love the colors. It's just a different color. Granted, I have one right next to it that's very similar. But I don't see these colors too often, and these are actually some of my wife's favorite colors, like this coral. Like, you don't see a lot of coral underwear out there, and I just thought it was a cool color to go for. So it kind of made her happy to have those colors in my collection, and then obviously it made me happy to grab a few more thongs. So recommend those as well. Those are nice ones, a little bit wider on the back side than the last one I just showed you. Comfortable as well. Again, once you get used to thongs, you tend to, at least for me, regardless of what kind of cut they are, you tend to get more and more used to them as time goes on. At first, I was a little bit more picky about what the back was and how wide it was, and if it was a string or if it was not a string. Before, I thought like the strings were less comfortable, and now I'm just kind of any of them really typically go pretty well. There are obviously certain times where if the back strap is too short or something, then that's going to kind of slice you in half and feel uncomfortable. So you still got to get the right size, and everything has to be made correctly, but overall, no complaints there. And with that, all right, continuing on. I looked up how to call this brand at one point, but now I forgot what it was. Ari, I probably just butchered it, but I'm just going to go with it. This is a brand out of Texas. I want to say Austin, Texas. It's a smaller brand, but they, in my opinion, I feel like they're getting bigger. They've got a decent collection. It seems like they're advertising a bit, really kind of getting their name out there. I'm seeing a lot of influencers on social media trying out this brand, and I've been seeing a lot of good reviews from them. So definitely kind of getting bigger and bigger, which is cool to see. And these are the first ones I got from them. So this one is really neat. Just such a unique style. I absolutely love this. So this is their trunk thong. And so what's cool about it is you get the mesh on the most of the piece, but then you get the triangle in the back, and the pouch in the front is just like a polyamide solid material. And so you get the look of a thong with still the feel and style of a trunk boxer brief. But I will say, it does actually have a little bit of a feel of a thong as well. Like, this fabric does cut into your body a little bit, so where you can actually like feel that thong feeling just a little bit, but it's not like so extreme where it's like a full-on thong. To me, like, this is like the perfect introduction for someone who's curious about thongs and they're not sure. This is like the first step I think I would recommend people try, because I think it just kind of gives you just a taste of what it's like. And then, like, maybe if you get used to that a little bit, then you can go from here right to an actual thong. So I definitely recommend this as like a first kind of transition start to getting a thong if you haven't tried thongs before. Also just very comfortable in general. Another one I got is, this is a jock thong. Forgive me as I kind of untuck this. There we go. All right, so thong back, but then it also has the side straps, and these are just like loops on the side. They kind of go from top to bottom here. Similar to what I see from the CIN2s, they also have that where it starts right here rather than on the sides. This is also that polyamide material. Oh my gosh, I just absolutely love this material. It's just so silky soft. And this, for me, like, I thought the pouch was great. It was really comfortable. I just absolutely love this. Like, and for me, I love bold colors like neons and so on. And so once I saw that, I was like, yes, I want this. And on top of it, it's a jock thong, which is unique and fun. I don't have a ton of them, so to add another one to the collection was great, and it was very comfortable. The last one I got from them is this thong here. This is fun because it has the waistband on the side, and then it has the fabrics on the top, the front and the back. Also a fun color. I don't have a lot of purples, so to have this one was great to add. Also, I love that. I think this is the only one I have that has the transition from the waistband to the actual material, like that on the front and the back, where you just have these side straps. It's a cool feeling. I like it. It's a sexy look as well, in my opinion. To me, it kind of reminds me of those Victoria's Secret gem thongs that are out there, where they have the side waistbands with all the gems inside of it. It's like a little mini diamonds kind of things. It's kind of like that, except the men's version, if you will, with the pouch and all. So this one I believe is modal as well. If you haven't noticed that trend, I'm a big modal person. I think it's a great fabric to go with. It's like a high-end luxury cotton, in my opinion, like so much better than cotton. So that's that. Next, moving right along, this is Team 8. I don't even remember if I've talked about this. If not, I'm gonna actually just recommend UNB podcast. It's the Brief Talk podcast. If you can look it up on any main podcast streaming services, Spotify and Apple Podcasts and so on and so forth. There will be a podcast about John and I meeting up in Chicago, where we end up sporting swim thongs on the beach, and we were with our wives and we had a great time. And what we also did is we went to an underwear store, and that's where I got this guy. Teammate. I've always wanted to have a Teammate. They're a great high-end quality underwear brand. They're so expensive that I just haven't been able to buy too many of them. But for a special trip like this, that's when you get these kind of brands. You kind of splurge on that one brand that you've wanted, but you just haven't been able to pull the trigger because of price. And this is it. I really love their neon, their like lime green color as well. But John ended up getting a purple Speedo, and so I thought, well, I'll get a purple sport brief to go with it, and that way we kind of match in that way. And I don't have a lot of purples. I think this one and the Ari one is the only. I have a few others that are kind of purplish, but this is like a bold purple. So I don't have too many of these, so I wanted to go for that. Overall, love it. Very comfortable. This fabric is so soft. Again, it's the polyamide. I'm in love with this fabric as well. So just more of a silky, soft kind of material. Very good quality. Really like the build on it. Great piece. All right. I think Cheap Undies had a deal on a bunch of Gaigo underwear, and they've got some great patterns and cuts and styles, and it was for a great price, so I couldn't pass it. I ended up going with this fun one. This was kind of fun because they only showed the front of it, and I knew it was a jock brief, but I didn't know what the back looked like. So it was kind of just like a mystery surprise on what the back was going to end up like. And this one, you got like a full-on pouch, and then just this fabric there coming to it. And then on the back side, So you get this really cool kind of mesh pattern to it. Very sophisticated and fun, sexy. It's a sport brief, so it has an opening in the middle, but some fabric on the top. Sport briefs, or excuse me, it's not sport brief, a jock brief. Jock briefs is one of my favorite styles. I've been wanting to get more of them just because I love this style so much. And so I saw this one and I saw how fun it looked that I decided to go for it. The other one I got from them is this thong right here. Again, another neon green, yellowish color. This is just another fun thong that I saw. It has a wider back to it, more of a cheeky thong. Call it a tanga, if you will. That's kind of what I would define it as, because it does have more of that. It's almost like that cock socks back to it, where it's just a little bit wider. So it definitely has some fun, cheeky flair to it. Very comfortable. Liked it a lot. Right, moving right along. Bodyaware. I ended up getting some of their satin collection, as well as a fun surprise at the end that I'll show you in a little bit. This is their brief. So with satin, this is some of my first satin pairs, and when going with satin, I figured I at least should have one that has a brief, so that you can actually feel the satin in the back a little bit more, rather than like a thong where there is like not much fabric in the back. So I definitely had to have one of these. So overall, very soft as expected. Seems to be holding up well. I've got some word of caution from some friends online to just, they're delicate pairs. They're something you can't be brushing your jeans up and down on them a lot, where it can just be very delicate. So you just want to be a little more careful. Nothing crazy. But overall, have liked them so far. Very comfortable, good size pouch, so good support there. And then I ended up getting 2 thongs from them, and I thought this was a fun color. And then of course the red I just thought was very bold and elegant. I ended up seeing with these, and a friend of mine online thought that these were really comfortable. So this has that kind of like spot to put your package inside of. But with these, what I like about it is it's a nice decent size, where it's still very comfortable. It doesn't cut you off. There are certain ones in my collection where this is a very small circle and you have to like shove everything in, and it kind of hurts. At least for me it does. Some people, they don't mind it and they think it's amazing and so on, but for me, I want some more space, and I thought they did that with these. Well, still it just kind of still accents things a little bit more. So very comfortable pouch. Very happy about that turned out well in my opinion. Kind of see what the backs look like. Just a typical thong back. Good side pouch, again, very soft fabric, and loved them. All right, I feel like we're getting now down to the end. Thanks for hanging in there, guys. This is a bodysuit from Bodyaware. This is my second bodysuit. This one is actually more of a nylon, if I remember correctly. Yeah. And the only other bodysuit I have is more of a modal, which is also very amazing. So this is more of a silky material, and so it's fun to mix it up. I love the feeling. This is actually a brief bodysuit. The other one I have is a thong, but this one is a brief. I want to just try something different than what I had before. I personally like the snaps. There are a lot of people that I've seen like reviews of and everything. They're like, oh, I don't like snaps. I want it without snaps. Um, I think you gotta have the snaps if you were wearing it for daily wear. If you were just wearing it for like in the evening while you're casually strolling around the house, sure. Like, and if the straps bother you, then yeah, I think something like that is fine. But for me, like, I'm gonna be wearing them all day. I'm gonna go to work with them. I'm gonna, going around the house and everywhere else doing errands, whatever. And if I need to go to the bathroom, I don't want to have to like go in a stall and like strip or like try to hold everything off to the side in order to go to the bathroom. Like with these, that you're able to just unbutton them, and then what I just do is I just end up folding them inward, and the elastic just ends up holding them up, and then you can kind of do your business, and then you just bring them back down and snap them together again and go about your day. It's a lot faster rather than literally like taking off all your clothes just to get this thing off to go to the bathroom. So I personally don't notice the buttons like during the day. They kind of go right behind your package, and for me, I don't notice them, but I know people who do. So I would say maybe just try them out if you want, and then if you just one of those people that don't like them, then you know what you do and don't like. So just normal straps on the side. So what I love about bodysuits that I've mentioned before is it's like an undershirt that never untucks. It's amazing. And it's like underwear and undershirt all built in one. I think men should be wearing these more often because of that you have the, I mean, who likes having their undershirt always untuck all the time? Like, it's just so annoying. Granted, I have some little leg strap things that I can snap undershirts to if I really need to, but I don't really want to use those every day. So to have this as an option is great. It hugs your body really well. It's very comfortable. So I recommend this one as well. I haven't really had too many bad pairs as of late. I think that's about all she wrote. Maybe there's one or two that I missed, but I tried to dig out as much as I can. Just doing a quick scan. Oh, you know what? There is one more. It is this little guy. I think this was pair 180 from the last time when I did the last count that I gave you on the last video. I think I mentioned 179 with 180 coming up. This is the one I had in mind. What I wanted is I wanted to get like the skimpiest little G-string that I could. I have these from King Sky, and these are great, and they're very skimpy. But this one is just a little bit more skimpy. You can notice just like the top fabric here is not very wide. You go with something like these guys, and it's a little bit wider. It's more of a triangle, and this is a triangle, but it's a very, very, very skinny triangle. And so this is from Amazon. If you, let's see here, there's the brand right there. I'm not even gonna try to say it. Very soft material, it's a nylon, so it's very silky. I thought it was very comfortable, and it's very fun. It's a great color. And this is definitely the most skimpy thong that I have that actually like fits everything, but like barely. Like there's not too much more room left to cover up, if you will. So I thought that was a fun pair. With that, I think that's about it. I do want to mention one or two quick things. In August, we are going to be doing a meetup with UNB / Brief Talk Podcast. So Tim is going to try to make it, as well as John that lives in Chicago, and we're hoping to get a bunch of other guys as well, and we hope you can make it too. So we plan to, it can be 1 or 2 days depending on what you guys can spring for. We're hoping for 2 days, basically a weekend in August. I will put the date in the post. I want to say it's like August 16th and 17th, right around there. It could be a day or two off. And basically we're going to, the main event will be like a Sunday morning where we'll all meet up at a beach. It'll be Hollywood Beach in Chicago, and it's all thongs and Speedos and whatever you want to wear. There are guys that just wear normal swimsuits as well, but I would say probably 90% of it is Speedos or less. And it's a lot of fun. And if you're nervous about wearing a Speedo or a swim thong, this is the first place to try it because you're not the odd duck out. Everyone's wearing it, so you don't feel nearly as uncomfortable because everyone else is doing it. So there's nothing, like no one really bats an eye, if you will. So if you ever want to try it, this would be your opportunity to do it for sure. And we have a bunch of guys who absolutely love underwear that want to talk with you about it. So I hope that you guys can make it, and more information coming soon on that. I think that's about it for now. I really appreciate you guys hanging in there and watching this whole video with me, and I hope you guys have a good one. Bye.